Hi guys, thanks for joining me, Jaleisha Gatling, a couples therapist here in New York City on Thirsted Thursdays with a Therapist, where we quench the thirst in your relationship. Today's topic is, can you handle the truth? Now, I'm continuing on from what we talked about last week in terms of listening in your relationship, active listening, and ways that you can help your partner to better hear you by communicating in really effective ways. So let's assume that you guys have been implementing some of these tools and tips and techniques, and that you are really hearing your partner. You're having a lot of those moments where you're like, oh, she got me. She heard me. Oh, he gets it finally. Like you're having the same conversation that you've had in the past, maybe over and over again around a particular issue, and it's shifting into a space where it's not fraught with tension, and you're arriving at truths and meanings and things that you didn't quite get before because you're getting beneath the surface. Okay, so let's assume that you're there. What can come out of that is a very beautiful thing, but what can also come out of that is a deeper understanding of what your partner values, and sometimes that might leave you in a space where you're questioning, are your values closely aligned, and can this work, just to be quite frank? Because to come to discover some of those inner truths and real deep meanings sometimes can put us in a spot of asking ourselves, can I handle this? Can I accept this truth that is so different from mine? Now, I'll give you an example. Say you're getting married and the subject of a prenup comes up. It can be a hot topic for a lot of people. Money in general, hot topic, sensitive, full of a lot of emotions. So say your partner wants to have a prenup and brings this up. And perhaps this is something that was brought up long before you even got engaged, just kind of in passing or nonchalantly. And it really ticked you or triggered you, but maybe you kind of stuffed that down and never really went back to it. And now it's on the table again. So let's say that your initial feelings that come up around that, or meanings around getting a prenup, are in totality negative. Say some of the things that might come up for you are, you don't really love me. You don't really love me if you would ask me to sign a prenup. Are you really in this for the long haul? Are you fully committed? Like there's no way that you could be fully committed to me and trust me. Does this mean you don't trust me, that you would want a prenup? Does this mean you think I'm after you for your money? All those different things can come up in response to someone maybe wanting a prenup. Another side or another lens that you might consider or look at that through is, I respect that. 50% of marriages end in divorce, and I'm not after you for your money. So, if you want me to sign it, I have no issues with that. Maybe we can even put something in there where what I do have is protected should we decide to part ways. Perhaps one of you makes significantly more money, or one person has a large inheritance or family business. I mean, there's so many different factors that could play into that. But what I'm asking you to do is not to try and fight and pick a side of what's right or wrong, but to consider other meanings or possibilities or experiences that could be attached to wanting to have the prenup, that maybe don't quite fit what comes up for you naturally or instinctually. And also, this is vice versa. I'm not just talking to the person who maybe is like, no, I don't want the prenup, but I bring that up because it is a common thing that brews up a lot of tension, and people have very strong visceral feelings around it. And so it's really important to take into consideration the different factors and ways that society has changed and evolved and shifted that can really impact how you might view a prenup. I mean, older generation, younger generation, we live in a very individualized society on the Western side, where we are not so community focused or collaboratively focused as maybe some other parts of the world. So there's just so many different things that can play into this, and I guess I'm asking you to consider some other meanings and to hear your partner out, and to not just go into, no, that means what comes up for me and that's the truth, because there is space and room for two different truths. Now, the question becomes, can you handle their truth if that doesn't shift into a space that's closer to yours, or if you don't shift closer to theirs, if that makes sense? Can you handle their truth? Because if you go in accepting this, you have to accept it. There can't be resentment that you're dragging into the marriage. And so that is really what I wanted to get out of today. I'm thinking about some other little money things that come up on a consistent basis. Debt. Say that throughout you guys really improving your communication and feeling like you are in a really safe space to be vulnerable and to talk about your fears or things that you're scared of, or maybe things that you haven't really brought up to the surface. Say that you have a lot more debt than you maybe let on at the beginning of your relationship, and now you guys are really considering committing or getting married. Questions come up like, well, is your debt my debt? Is our debt together? Are we doing separate accounts? Are we doing me and you and ours? And what's the meaning of all of that? A lot of times we don't get to that. So that's what I am really encouraging you guys to do. I want you to not just jump to, can I handle this? But what does this mean for you? Can I possibly experience this in a different way? And let's get to the root of how I came to experience this specific thing, so perhaps such as a prenup. How did I come to experience that as that? Those are the kind of conversations that you want to have before you can really answer the question of, can you handle the truth? Okay, so guys, I want you to tune in next week because I'm continuing on this path about listening. I'm talking about listening to yourself, and I'm talking about it, I want to compare it to infidelity, okay? I'm talking about a different sort of cheating, a cheating on yourself. Self-betrayal. That's where we're going in the next episode of Thirsty Thursdays with a Therapist. So make sure you guys tune into that. If you guys have not checked out my latest blog, please check it out. Shut That Hole in Your Face. It's really awesome, and it's a awesome extended version of what I've been talking about in the past couple of Thirsty Thursdays around listening and communication. So check that out, and I will see you guys next Thursday.